Here is how I took my client Tine, a lifestyle coach, from an inconsistent business, struggling to get any clients, to now signing 5 new clients in 14 days. We did all that without actually sacrificing any of her time and increasing the workload she already had with the business. And Tine, like many other coaches out there, is a busy woman. She has 3 kids and a full life outside of her business, which meant her time was always limited. But despite that, she was still able to consistently acquire clients. From the beginning of our collaboration, we made one thing clear. We are not going to build any growth at the cost of her precious time and energy. Instead, we built her business around her life situation. So we protected her authenticity and focused on creating something that is aligned with who she actually is, not something she had to chase constantly just to keep up. So if you feel like you are in the same situation as Tine was before, this video is exactly for you. Because in this video, I'm going to break down every single step we did with Tine, while still focusing on the authenticity side and actually being able to scale her business. So, while every transformation is case specific, because it always comes down to the relationship between your offer and your audience and how clearly those two connect. So, while Tine's situation might not be identical to yours, the principle behind it can be applied regardless of niche or offer. And that's exactly what I want to break down here. Because chances are, maybe a little bit, but you might recognize yourself in where she started. Because at this point of the journey, maybe you are already struggling to get clients even though you are doing everything right. Trying different strategies you see online, but never getting the results you expect or you actually deserve. You might be showing your expertise constantly, but don't feel like there is anybody that really cares about what you are posting and what you want to communicate with the world. And everything results in you being stuck in a loop of trying new things, ending up with the same results and just feeling stuck and feeling overwhelmed. If that sounds familiar to you, I have good news for you, because in this video I want to show you what was actually happening behind the scenes when we first started working with Tine. So the first thing I always do when I start working with clients, and also what I did when I started working with Tine, is that I take a step back and I look at the business from a third person perspective, because I don't want to react emotionally on this. I want to take it objectively. I want to look at the business from a third person perspective and give my honest opinions on what actually works and what is actually missing. So here is the 3 questions I always ask clients when we onboard them. So the first one is, where is the actual bottleneck inside the business right now? And what is missing specifically? We need to be specific here. And the third one is, why isn't growth happening despite the effort we put in? Whether you like it or not, your business is actually structured like this, because every business has fundamentals, amplifiers, and conversion steps, where fundamentals consist of offer and audience alignment and brand and messaging. We have amplifiers, which is traffic and nurturing steps. If your fundamentals are broken, you will only amplify what's already on your profile. And at the very end, we have conversion steps. If this is misaligned, amplification only makes the problem bigger. And that's exactly what was happening when Tine started working with us. From the outside, everything looked fine because Tine was posting consistently, was putting herself out there, and actually doing what most people would consider the right things. But what was actually happening is that her offer and audience were not fully aligned with the messaging that was on her Instagram profile. So instead of accelerating growth, she was actually amplifying confusion. And what was happening is that the ad that was driving that traffic inside her profile was just amplifying the confusion. And this is where many coaches misunderstand the situation, because they think the strategy is broken, the way the algorithm is working, the amount of videos they are posting. But in the reality, we are only seeing the symptoms. And social media, to be honest, only makes it worse, because you constantly receive new inputs telling you to change to new direction. And what happens is that you switch from one strategy to another without even realizing what's the main issue. And in most cases, the problem actually lays in offer and brand and messaging. It's nothing to do with the traffic nurturing steps, conversion, closing, or delivery. It's everything about the fundamentals. What we did is that we shifted her content from giving general tips to clearly speaking to the problems her audience was actually experiencing. Because right now we have a clear bio, we have a clear link on how people can take action from there. We use stories every single day to nurture the audience. And most importantly, we have 3 pin posts that talks directly to her audience. And as you can see, the results are pretty impressive in terms of views and how many people we actually attract into the Instagram profile. We improved the whole ecosystem, branding and messaging, which allowed us to go from $2.7 per follower to now paying only $1.6 per follower. And in 10 days, we were able to generate $1,600 from an ad spend on $400, which is a 4 times ROAS. And that means every dollar we spend on ad, we generate $4 in return. And yeah, the numbers might be a little bit sexy, but the most important thing is asking yourself, why did this happen? Because people move through different stages of awareness in their customer journey. And what happens is that we need to indirectly move people through stages of awareness using strong ecosystem. Some are confused, some are aware of the symptoms, some understand the problem, others are already searching for the solutions. But if your fundamentals aren't clear, you lose people at every stage of this journey. We didn't build her business around one viral moment. We wanted to focus on something that was able to last. And the thing is that we cannot control where someone enters their journey or when someone enters their journey. But what we can do with our content and whatever we put out there is to make it easy for them to move forward once they do. That's why we focus on the content that nurtures every step of the customer journey. And what I mean by that is using stories, using content on Instagram, and as well as YouTube content. So we have symptom-aware content, problem-aware content, which is the short videos on social media, which is the short videos on Instagram overall. The main task with these videos is to catch the attention, is to make people symptom-aware, problem-aware, and to take leverage, to take advantage of this is that we make solution-aware content and product-aware content, which is content describing the situation more in depth. And what we use for that is YouTube. You can post whatever you want, your case study, whenever or whoever you have helped online to turn their life from point A to point B. What's so effective about YouTube is that you can break everything in depth, and people that are already problem aware and symptom aware will get solution aware and product aware by the content you post on YouTube. So the process itself is actually not that complicated. It's pretty simple, And that's also why it's working. And here's how it looked in practice. Over 6 months, we implemented changes step by step, focusing the first month on the fundamentals. So the most important thing the first month was offer structuring and actually aligning offer with her brand. And what we did is also messaging clarity, that everything we post online actually makes sense for our audience. And that is also important to know your ICP well. If not, this will not work so well. Appointment setting, tested different ads and of course content for Instagram and YouTube, as I showed you in the previous slide. In month 2, we were testing, of course, different approaches. From the second month, you already get some responses from the audience, what is working, what is not working, and we can optimize their content to become even better. We refined the messaging, of course, according to the audience and the response we got from them. And we were actually able to scale bookings from there. Month 3, which was just optimization, and we focused some of the effort to have webinar funnel and of course scaling further. But what actually changed, because once the fundamentals were fixed, amplification finally worked. People entered her ecosystem naturally. They explored her content, of course watched stories, discovered YouTube videos, and gradually increased their awareness without being chased. They began to actually understanding themselves better, recognizing their problems and seeing her solution as relevant to them, because the ecosystem guided them forward instead of pushing them. And here you can see the exact framework we use with Tine, where we have the top of the funnel, which is generate awareness by using ads. We have middle of the funnel, which is clear bio, nurturing through content, pin posts, stories, and of course YouTube to generate more awareness. Everything was so aligned that the bottom of the funnel just went automatically. We got conversions and of course a great and solid offer structure, which made it easy for Tine to scale her business and book more clients into her calendar. And that's actually how we turn her business around. Not through complicated tactics, but through the actual alignment with everything she posted online. And everything finally matched her audience. She posted her lifestyle and the way she actually wanted to grow. And honestly, I don't blame anyone for thinking strategy is the real problem, because social media constantly pushes the idea that the next tactic is the next answer. In reality, most coaches I work with struggle with the exact same core issue. Not effort, not skill, but the actual structure. So if you feel like you have tried everything and nothing seems to stick, maybe the problem isn't the actual strategy. Maybe it's the roadmap you are building on. If you want more clarity around this topic, comment symptom below and I will help you understand what might actually be holding you back.